So, welcome everybody, and Marinella and William Forsythe.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the informality of this large table. Your distance, this room. Yeah. No, it's great to be here. It's very nice to be here. Thank you.
Io direi che forse la prima questione è proprio questa, chiedersi, domandarsi. Siamo arrivati davvero, siamo cotti al punto giusto da accogliere quest'idea che la coreografia, arte separata dalla danza, emigri verso altri lidi che non sono quelli del corpo? Punto di domanda. La seconda domanda potrebbe anche essere quella legata a una necessità di far durare il pensiero coreografico, no? Posto il fondamento, il principio che la danza non è la coreografia, allora se io agisco coreograficamente su un oggetto, lo trasformo, imprimo a questo oggetto un mio pensiero coreografico e sull'oggetto che non è fragile, che non è come il corpo che muore, ma dura, a questo punto il pensiero coreografico può sopravvivere alla danza, oppure no?
Yes, I have proposed that dancing and choreography are two different practices. Having done both for many, many, many years, yeah, I think they're very distinct things to do. They're not, they can have a tremendous amount in common. They have had a tremendous amount in common as long as we can think, but it is not necessarily an imperative. Somehow we've accepted it, it's received practice, but it apparently works without, let's say, a body demonstrating the idea. So you can have a situation that in some cases is, let's say, manifested as an object, which causes a discrete set of motions to spontaneously appear. And the object, when presented with it, can induce what I call unconscious competence. It's not my term, actually. An unconscious competence would be like not falling over, let's say, or saving yourself from a certain situation, or avoiding something, but things your body does automatically, but obviously in a capacity that is not too quotidian. There has to be some, as far as I'm concerned, some unique perspective on the thing, some experience of your body that's slightly different than normal. What we're presenting now is more of a score. So nowhere and everywhere at the same time is a situation. And this is a score that is sheerly or merely suggestive. Yeah? It only does so much. Yeah? There's about 300 pendulums in a room, and the performer sets these in motion if he wishes or not. Yeah? And, but it's designed, this particular dance, if you would call it, yeah, is designed for the person performing it. So Brock Lebrenz was the original performer when I made it in New York, and I've tried to do it in several other occasions with other dancers, and I would say 99.9% of the time it has failed. Yeah, he possesses a very unusual skill set. So he's an extremely well-trained dancer from Juilliard. He comes from the family, his father's a photographer. He now is a film producer, and he directs films, he directs actors, and he produces films. I mean, he edits films, shoots them himself, and works internationally. He also studied astrophysics. He studied acting. I can't remember what else he did, several other things. But because of this very unique skill set that he has, it really is unique. I don't know that many astrophysicists who make films and dance at the same time.
Mr. Forsythe parlava di score per questo meraviglioso pezzo Nowhere and Everywhere at the Same Time, che a me piace molto come titolo. E questo score, questa partitura, in fondo viene dalla musica. Allora, la domanda è, forse che la musica nel suo modus operandi, che è una trasposizione, se vogliamo, dall'oggetto alla fisicità dell'interprete, perché all'inizio è una partitura, un pezzo di carta su cui sono scritte delle cose, che poi diventa un'altra cosa perché viene eseguita da un corpo, che di solito è lo strumentista. Allora, forse che questa arte così vicina alla danza, poi alla fine, la musica, ha influito sulla nascita degli oggetti coreografici?
I do think that at present, in our work as a company, with my dancers, we focus very much on autonomous musical structures now. The music that we use has very little to do with the organization of the dance. It is an independent event, like film music, I would say. In that sense, it colors your perception of the event, but it is not necessarily the beat we're going to dance to. I don't think there's very many. What we have tried to do, because of my idée fixe about counterpoint, though, is we have really made very serious attempts to find out how robust is this idea of a physical counterpoint as opposed to acoustic counterpoint. Yeah? And this provides a lot of interesting, how can I say, research. My ideas about counterpoint, I think, are very much linked to an essay that had a very big impression on me in 1984, which was by Barbara Johnson, which was called Nothing Fails Like Success. And in this article, you can find it on the net, Nothing Fails Like Success. And it is about the substance of deconstruction. And in my interpretation, it describes I'm going to get there, a condition that imagines a non-absolute condition of language. It says yes, but also either or and neither nor. It allows contradictions to exist together. And people say, for example, you say counterpoint. Well, counterpoint is a musical event, yeah? Well, yes, but could it be that the origins of counterpoint were in the bodies of the musicians? Mm-hmm. Maybe, I mean, obviously there were people with bodies playing the instruments and writing. So is counterpoint something that exists like some sort of Platonic idea, you know? Or does it have something to do with the body itself? And I had a very interesting experience in this piece called One Flat Thing Reproduced, which I've put on the internet. There are certain sections, if you sync it up right, it structurally matches perfectly, note for note, a Beethoven symphony. Now, I had no intentions to do anything to a piece of classical music, nor I doubt I will in the near future. I mean, tomorrow I'll do it probably, because I just said no. Yeah. But I was shocked to see that. I say, well, does that mean that Beethoven was a dancer, or was Beethoven a choreographer, actually? Yeah. Or just when you think you've sort of, abandoned one sort of structure or one fragment of cultural heritage or one category of making or organizing or thinking, accidentally it shows up in the work, unconsciously in the time of the structure, and not in the form of the structure, actually, but in its actual times, pieces. Each little section was dun, 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 like that. So that was kind of eye-opening and shocking. And so I really don't know what's choreographic, what's musical, what's fine arts, what's visual arts, what's, dance. I really, and actually I don't care. I really don't care. What's more important is the research, methodological research with the people I'm working with. Actually, the most difficult thing is to really have no idea. It's very frightening. Yeah, you have to practice, young people, listen to me, I'm old. You have to practice not knowing. You're going to have to practice being scared shit, as we say in English. My son said, Dad, how come you do so well at your business? I said, because I'm more scared than anyone. Yeah. So don't be afraid to be afraid. That's probably your good little self going like, don't produce merda, yeah, you're going, because that's pretty much what you're concerned with is you want to be in a conversation. You don't want to be isolated from a conversation. You want to participate, and that's probably why you make work. You're wondering what could the answer be to the questions that you have, and are they going to come from yourself or are they going to come from others? You don't know, yeah, and you don't know where the next question will come from either. So, but allow yourself to not know, and that's a very scary thing to do, is to not know, and I mean up to the last second. Yeah, it means in every stage of the work you have to question your own thoughts about what you want and say, what I want really a good idea? And then listen to the people you work with. Even if you don't like what they're saying, you have to go like, why? Why? And don't be frightened by commentary or reactions that don't align with what you think you want. Yeah? As they say, be careful what you wish for. Be very careful for what you wish for. I would say doubt. It's really a valuable skill to acquire. Yeah. And if you think you know, hang it up. Give it up, because you don't. Louis Pasteur said, chance favors the prepared mind. Okay? Do your reading, do your thinking. Don't sit around, drinking. Do that also, but also think, like that. But when you're there, don't try to look for your idea. It's not there in the room. Yeah? Just see the people. Yeah, and then try to be articulate about what you see. Yeah, what is an honest description of what's happening, for example. You're in the room. What's an honest and fair description, yeah, that works on a human level? In other words, that works on the humanity that you're trying to, or the civilizing process, let's say, that should be happening in the room. You should be becoming more and more civilized on one hand. You can be as uncivilized as you like, yeah, which is also a good idea. But on the other hand, you're aware of what you're doing, yeah. But being civil is another story. I like being civil is also a form of respect, right? So how does this respect manifest itself? Yeah.
And that's, again, at the time of the Golden Lion, he was saying, okay, I could not do without reading the body of my dancers. They did it. That's what you said in this ceremony. I was looking to them, and they were experimenting it.
Well, it's dialogic, you know. I suggest something, and what the dancers, they hand back, and you go like, oh, okay, that's what you think of that idea. Oh, okay. Then if you think that, then da-da-da, and they go like, oh, okay, da-da-da, and I go, no, da-da-da. And they're like, no, you know, so it's you know, alive. It's a conversation. And that same conversation is going to happen with the rest of the world. So you have it with yourself. You're going, oh God, is that right? Da-da. Then you have it with people you work with, like that. And then you put it in front of people and you go, and they go, you know, or they go, yeah, you know, or they go, like that, you know. But it's a conversation. Don't expect everyone that you go yes, and everyone goes yes, like that. You can't. It ain't going to happen. Yeah.
And the other remark is that you said to me, okay, the body is an orchestra, should play all instruments. Yeah. So concerning more, I don't know, education or artistic.
Yeah, I mean, I think philosophy is a good thing to do. I mean, music, sure, but I question now. I like the musicality of the body, like I discussed before, but I do question now the a kind of hierarchy that we've received about music being something we should interpret, and our interpretation would be greater or lesser, or equal to, or less than the quality of the music. Yeah. That was a model for many years. That makes sense for him, but what is musicality without Balanchine? Let's ask ourselves, because he ain't around. So what is the musicality of a dancer? It wasn't necessarily the dancer's musicality, it was his musicality that you're watching. Yeah? Some dancers were more skilled at executing it. He didn't like interpretation, he said. She said, Bolerina, she's interpreting. And that was, no, he wanted just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, so things have changed, and our ideas of musicality have changed. I'm sure he would have adapted if he had seen hip-hop, you know, or crumping. If he had seen crumping and hip-hop, I'm sure he would have gone like, okay, on the point, crumping, you know, like, yeah. And I think right now, it's just such a different world than the middle of the 20th century. And let's say from his point, where a lot of the paradigms were established in relationship to music, this idea of this big single genius thing like that, all of it coming out of one person, I just don't think that it really has the same value. I don't think we need to have that kind of model. Yeah, it doesn't seem to always bring about just and fair being, you know. So what could we think? Can we still get coherent ideas, and not or without needing the idea of this kind of absolute authority, you know, this thing that knows exactly how to do it. I say thing, did you notice? This thing, not a person, yeah. And that's that thinginess, where you suddenly become, like you say, people say, oh, you're all idea, blah, 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 but the first thing I am is a human being, you know, and I have these other people in the room, and that's the most important thing is, let's be civil, you know, or civilized with each other. Yeah. Keep yourself indefinite. Don't try to become, you know, it's so easy. I'm a William Forsythe. I'm a thing, yeah? And I try it, you know, by the way, it doesn't take out the garbage, it doesn't wash the dishes, you know what I mean? It doesn't get the mail from the mailbox, it does, you know, it doesn't do much. But it does enable me to sit here with nice friends at a big table with you guys, it's great, you know, that's fun. But be careful about having an idea about who you are and what you do. So I think look for a categorical description of yourself within the practice that leaves you the space to move and change and become something else.